Hi everyone, it's Mitesh here, and welcome to episode 2 of my podcast, Cryptos with Mitesh, where I take a deep dive on the news and information in the cryptocurrency industry. Please be sure to check out my last episode in which I introduce myself and the podcast. Please be sure to follow me on Twitter at MiteshShaw93 and sign up for updates on my website, www.cryptoswithmitesh.com. You can find this podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Google Podcasts under Cryptos with Mitesh. As of recording, the price of Bitcoin is $7,293 Ethereum is $235, and Litecoin is around 37 cents. Now, without further ado, let's get things started. In this episode, I will be explaining the significance of the SEC's first letter of no action and why it is so important, as well as the impact it will have in the industry. The Securities and Exchange Commission has issued its first no action letter to a travel startup named Turnkey Jet Inc. and their utility token TKJ. Turnkey is a Florida company that is domiciled in Delaware that is offering air charter services via a smart contract. This means that as long as Turnkey Jet Inc. abides by the rules set forth by the SEC will take no action against them. They have 6 rules. The first, TKJ will not use any funds from the token sales to develop the TKJ platform, network, or app, and each of these will be fully developed and operational by the time any tokens are sold. This first point is important because it restricts Turnkey from using their tokens in an ICO to raise funds to develop their platform, and they must have an already functioning platform prior to issuing any tokens. This is completely different than what we've seen from any other token issuance, as usually those funds are used to create either the entirety of a platform or the final parts of a platform in order for it to launch. Here, however, the entire platform has to be created before any tokens are issued. The second point is that the tokens will be immediately usable for their intended functionality, purchasing air charter services, at the time they are sold. This means that the tokens need to have the ability to immediately be used for their intended use, and that Turnkey cannot list a use that is not already available for their consumers, which goes back to the SEC's first point that the platform, network, and app need to be fully developed and operational before issuing any tokens. The third point, TKJ will restrict transfers of the TKJ tokens to TKJ wallets only, and not to wallets external to the platform. Now, this is a big point because it means that the tokens must remain within the platform and cannot be moved to an external wallet. This goes to show that the tokens will operate in a very basic method in which the user will purchase the tokens as the only method of purchasing a service offered by Turnkey. At this point, the token is no different than how users use a platform-specific currency to purchase goods and services on that platform. For example, many people are familiar with the widely popular video game Fortnite. Within the game, you can purchase Fortnite's in-game currency called V-Bucks, which are then used to purchase various cosmetic designs such as character costumes within the game. At no point are you allowed to move V-Bucks outside of that game. The only difference here is that with Turnkey, all transactions are linked and then saved on a blockchain, and the transactions are carried out via a smart contract. The fourth point is that TKJ will sell tokens at a price of $1 per token throughout the life of the program, and each token will represent a TKJ obligation to supply air charter services at the value of $1 per token. Again, another important point because it means that the TKJ tokens will have a fixed sale price for the duration of its existence, and that Turnkey is obligated to supply a service at that value. It is important to note here that Turnkey has also stated that when a token enters circulation, TKJ consumers may freely trade or exchange the tokens in their possession between any other consumers, broker, or carrier within the network. This means that while they will sell the tokens at $1 per token, the token itself can then be freely traded at the holder's discretion. The fifth point is that if TKJ offers to repurchase tokens, it will only do so at a discount to the face value of the tokens that the holder seeks to resell to TKJ, unless a court within the United States orders TKJ to liquidate the tokens. Simply put, if Turnkey ever offers to buy back the tokens from its consumers, it has to do so at a lesser price than $1 that the token holder seeks to resell the token back to Turnkey. The sixth and final point is that the token is marketed in a manner that emphasizes the functionality of the token and not the potential for the increase in the market value of the token. This means that since the token has a fixed sales price of $1, Turnkey has to market the coin in a strict regard to its functionality within the platform and not to the overall potential that the price can then be sold on another market afterward. This will prevent misleading marketing to ensure that the consumers are aware of the token's use within their platform. These 6 points are very important as it shows an insight into how the SEC views non-security tokens, which, at this point, are essentially any token not used to raise funds for the development of a platform. According to the SEC, ICOs, or more specifically tokens, can be called a variety of names, but merely calling a token a utility token or structuring it to provide some utility does not prevent the token from being a security. However, as we've seen with the first letter of no action, in order for a token to not fall under a security, it has to follow a set of strict rules that prevent the token from being sold in order to raise funds for the platform development and future price growth, which would therefore make it a security. Company and token issuers have been seeking the SEC's no action letters for their ICOs for several months now. And for the first time, we can see how the SEC views ICOs as well as the distinction between utility and security tokens. Attorney Joshua Clayman of Clayman LLC told CoinDesk that it is a huge step forward for the industry to have a no action letter published. It is a sort of guidance that the market needs and has been looking for. And while I do personally agree with this statement, I would like to conclude in my personal views that while a no action letter is a step forward and shows how the SEC is moving forward, there are still many questions regarding the letter as well as many restrictions put in place. This letter of no action simply stated 6 rules that prevent any token from being considered a security. However, this is still the first letter we have received in this industry, and it will be very interesting to see how companies and the SEC move forward from this point on. One final thing to note is that the SEC's decision relied on the opinion of Turnkey's legal counsel, and many believe that it is how the counsel handled this case with the SEC that resulted in this outcome. Many legal counsels take note and form their own strategies around this, and we will most likely see different no action letters in the future, with the possibility of each one being specific to the company and token, and will have their own unique set of rules for each company and coin to follow, and that if any company ever breaks those rules, the SEC will file some action against them for doing so. Thank you all so much for listening to this episode, and please be sure to comment and share. Also, please be sure to follow me on Twitter at MiteshShaw93 and sign up for updates on my website, cryptoswithmitesh.com, as well as on SoundCloud, Spotify, and Google Podcasts under Cryptos with Mitesh to make sure you don't miss when I upload my next episode. Until then, take care, and I'll catch you all next time. Bye.